In our last video, we looked at two types of traits. Can you recollect their names? Inherited and acquired traits, right? Do you think inherited traits remain constant? How does one species give rise to a new species? The answer lies in the idea of variation and isolation. Variation in a single population of frogs gave rise to a yellow-colored frog. Say these frog species move and migrate to a new place. Let us name this new area as Sector B and the former area as Sector A. There are numerous possibilities of an altogether different variation which exists here in Sector B. When these will mate with the migrant frog from Sector A and produce offspring, they will produce offspring with vast DNA changes. In the course of time, the offspring of the frogs that migrated to Sector B will not be able to reproduce with the offspring of the frogs back in Sector A. Look at this offspring in Sector B. One of its parents was from Sector A and the other from Sector B. Yes, but several instances of crossbreeding led to a genetic drift. What exactly do I mean by genetic drift? The migrant frog brought in a set of genes which flowed into the population of Sector B. As time passed by, these frogs were isolated from Sector A and formed a new gene pool altogether. At some point in time, the genetic flow caused such a great variation in the future generations that mating with frogs of Sector A became almost impossible. The frogs of Sector A too underwent many variations. Process of natural selection started taking place differently in both the sectors as they were separated by nature. Such changes over a period of time gave rise to a new species of frogs. Why do we term them as new species? The genes and the DNA of the two frogs are very different from each other. These cannot breed with each other as their genes are not compatible anymore. Thus, an altogether new species emerged after variation and isolation. We call this phenomenon as a genetic drift. This genetic drift creates new species, and thus we come to the term speciation. Orator F. Cook was the one who coined this term. He believed that speciation takes place when there is a splitting in the lineage. He opposed the idea that change takes place within a particular lineage. Well, now we know that what he said was true. The migrant frog split from its lineage in Sector A and moved into a new lineage of the Sector B frogs. Do you think humans too must have evolved in a similar manner? Well, let's find out in our further videos.